Guys, here with a new video for the channel. I hope you like it, and if you like it, don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment, and subscribe. Now without further ado, get comfortable. Let's begin. In the Kingdom of the Whole, the Great Priest and High Priest Daishaken was observing the 12 universes so that they are in total order. However, he would be interested in a Saiyan woman from Universe 7, for which reason he observed her very often. Being one of the most powerful beings in all the universes, I should not be intimidated by any women, so I'll go confront her. Daishaken, he would quickly arrive to the planet Vegeta, and as his power was so great, he would not be noticed by anyone. Only Gine was able to observe him, being very surprised to notice a being very different from the Saiyans. Who are you? Why do I feel strange energy emitting from your body? I know this is a lot of information for a mortal like you, but I am much more than a god. I am known as the Great Priest, and I have been captivated with his beauty. Gine would be very surprised by Daishaken's words. I don't understand. Do gods really exist? Some time ago, a rumor went viral, which was said that a god had humiliated King Vegeta and even the Great Frieza. That's right, the gods really exist, but I am even much higher on a larger scale than the gods. Instantly, Bardock would have arrived from a mission Gine was not able to notice, but Daishaken would quickly disappear. Oh damn, I'm feeling too tired. Gine, can you give me something to eat? Please, I'm starving. The food on the planet we destroyed was crap. Of course, Bardock. Gine, is there something wrong with you? It looks like you've seen a ghost. No, Bardock, nothing's wrong with me. It's just your stuff. While after a while, Daishaken would continue to resort to the planet Vegeta much more often. However, in one of their many encounters, Gine had become pregnant, which would be very scared because she knew that in case Bardock realized, it would end her life. Come with me to the Kingdom of the All. You'll lack absolutely nothing, and I will personally take care of protecting you from everything. No, Dai, I can't do it. The world you belong to is very different from my world, so I'm not able to do anything to go with you. I hope you understand me. I understand. In that case, I'll not let my son's life be in danger. Daishaken, with his great angelic power, was able to change the entire physical trait of the Saiyan baby. That's right, Daishaken would make him look totally like Bardock. Even if that child you are carrying in your womb has the appearance of the Saiyan Bardock, through his body runs the Saiyan blood on your part and the angelic energy. Daishaken would leave to the Kingdom of the Whole while analyzing everything that happened. However, he would be taken out of his thoughts upon hearing the voice of his king. Daishaken, I need you to investigate the borders of our universes, because one of the Guardians has detected an anomaly on the outskirts of our 12 universes. I understand, Great Zeno-sama. Don't worry, I'll take care of it. Daishaken would leave to perform the mission that the Great Zeno-sama had granted him, which he thought would be a simple mission, but it turned out very different because the moment he arrived, he was able to realize how beings from other multiverses were about to enter his multiverse. Damn spies. Now I'll finish with every one of you. I've had a lousy day and you'll be my beating toys. Daishaken quickly in one move was able to finish off 10 of them, and at the moment a big explosion would be created all over the place. However, 2 of them quickly merged, appearing an extremely powerful being, which even left Daishaken a little surprised. Separately, they're rubbish, but I can tell that when joined their powers increase a little. Don't make fun of us. With the power that we'll be able to finish you garbage. We don't care that you're a priest. Our king is much more powerful. That battle was legendary, since the power of both of them was so much that even both kings were able to feel such a beastly power. That's the power of Daishaken! Guardians, right away, come on! Xeno-sama would arrive at the battlefield realizing as Daishinkan was with multiple wounds, while his opponent had been reduced to simple atoms with Daishinkan's energy reserve. At the moment, a demon would appear in front of Xeno-sama. I don't care how long it takes us, but I assure you that we will conquer your whole damn dwarf multiverse. The Queen of Altoa would disappear from the place, while they would take Daishinkan quickly to recover. Meanwhile, several months had already passed, in which even the Great Priest was still out of combat for such an incredible combat. However, in all that time, the evil Emperor Frieza was organizing everything to destroy the planet Vegeta. Bardock, realizing this, would take Kakarot, sending him to planet Earth. Bardock, a weak Saiyan, but with unwavering pride, tried to face Frieza. Being impossible for him, however, before the planet is completely destroyed, Gine would communicate telepathically with Daishinkan. It's been months since our last conversation. I don't know absolutely anything about you, Dai, but I hope you can raise our son Kakarot is heading to planet Earth. I love you, Dai. Instantly, the whole planet Vegeta would remain in simple cosmic dust of the universe. Daishinkan would wake up at the moment, being very confused by everything.
Dai, how are you feeling? You've been out of action for months.
For months? What has happened to my son? What was that communication a few moments ago with Gine?
All of this would think Daishinkan, who would quickly leave to Universe 7, realizing how the place where the planet Vegeta was, there was absolutely nothing. Daishinkan was about to explode with anger. However, he remembered his little son, remembering that he would be sent to planet Earth. Daishinkan, being a supreme angel, was able to intercept the ship, realizing how the little Kakarot emanated an incredible divine power.
You will be an amazing warrior. I plan to introduce you to the king of all Xeno-sama. I'm sure he'll like you very much.
Daishinkan, with the little Kakarot, they would leave for the Kingdom of the Whole, and when they arrived, Xeno-sama together with both Guardians were very surprised to realize that Daishinkan was with a child in his arms.
Daishinkan? Who's that child?
Great Xeno-sama, I don't know if you really exiled me, but this little boy is my son. The son between a mortal and a divine being.
The Guardians were much more surprised by the incredible revelation of Daishinkan.
I didn't expect that, Daishinkan, but don't worry. You risked your life in the last mission. The least I could do is that your son lives in this place.
I really thank you, great Xeno-sama. You don't know how happy it makes me to hear that.
Don't worry, Dai.
That was how that little Saiyan was raised by the most powerful beings of all the universes. However, the level of learning of that Saiyan child was incredible, since with only being 8 years old, he was already able to master the divine phases of the Super Saiyan Blue and was even able to give battle to a god of destruction.
Father, I want to become much more powerful. I want to be one of the most powerful beings in all the universes as well as you are.
My little Kakarot, your mother would be very proud of you because at such a young age, you are much more powerful than all the Saiyans, and you're even at the level of comparing yourself to gods of destruction, which they have trained for millions of years.
Meanwhile, in Universe 7, more specifically on the planet of Beerus, he would wake up very altered.
What the hell was that dream? How am I supposed to be the great Beerus and the most powerful god of all universes to be defeated by a simple Saiyan?
Mr. Beerus, are you alright? He has woken up much earlier than planned.
I don't know if that was a premonition or a fucking nightmare, but I have a dream that I would be defeated by a Saiyan god.
Ho, Mr. Beerus, your premonitions are not very effective, let's say. And secondly, after the destruction of the planet Vegeta, only 3 Saiyans were left alive, which their powers are incredibly low.
I don't have to worry about that dream was so real.
What the God of Destruction didn't know was that a simple 8-year-old Saiyan had the power to face him. Not to defeat him, but to give him battle, because through his body he traveled the 2 most powerful bloods of all the universes, the Saiyan blood and the angelic blood. Returning to the Kingdom of All, Kakarot, in his free time, he used to play with the great Xeno-sama. However, in these simple trainings, the power likewise increased, having to have the required level not to be eliminated by any of his attacks. While they were both having fun, Daishinkan would say to himself,
when Kakarot turns 15, I'll take him to face the Supreme God. I want to see what this distance between my gifted son from a Supreme God.
Kakarot and Daishinkan continued to train very hard for these 7 years, in which Kakarot was able to even master the ultra-perfect instinct at such a young age.
My little Kakarot, Are you ready to have a confrontation with the Supreme God? Because not even an ordinary god is able to activate the Ultra Instinct.
Of course, Father. I'll use all my power. I promise I'll not let you down.
Daishinkan and Kakarot were headed to one of the territories of the Supreme Gods, which when they arrived, an incredible pressure would fall on the body of both. However, this pressure was just a breeze for the Great Priest, who were trained in extreme environments to accompany the king at all. While for Kakarot, it would be a little difficult, but he was not able to stop the half-Saiyan, half-Angel son. But what a surprise to have you from my territory, Great Daishinkan. What is it that is offered to you, since a priest never visits the territory of the Supreme Gods?
Long time no see, Ymira. I've brought a disciple of mine here, and I want you to face him. But don't trust yourself because his power is incredible.
And don't tell me that's about the guy behind your back. If he only seems to be a simple mortal, this won't be any fun. I'll finish with him with one fell swoop. Daishinkan would give a big smile because at that instant, a lightning bolt was able to connect a great blow to the powerful supreme god Ymira, which would fall to the planet, making it rumble due to the power of the blow.
Don't underestimate me, because in that case, this battle will be over before you can even blink.
Damn brat, you're nothing compared to me. Behold, the true power of the supreme god. Ymira at that moment would begin to increase her power in an incredible way. However, for Kakarot, it was nothing amazing because the power of her father, Daishinkan, was much more incredible than this power. A great calamity would be observed all over the place, and instantly a furtive blow was able to turn Kakarot's head, but Ymira would be surprised. How the hell am I supposed to just move your head a little? If that blow is capable of erasing galaxies.
My body's much more resistant than a galaxy. But tell me, what do you think about this?
Kakarot, with a small blow to the chest of Ymira, was able to make him fall to the ground very badly injured, and even vomiting large amounts of blood. Upon witnessing this, even Daishinkan would be very surprised because Kakarot's power was gigantic, but not as to defeat a supreme god with a single blow.
What did he do? The blow I gave him was nothing special.
So it has worked. That was a technique I've been training for the last 7 years. Apparently, Mythical Fist has been a success.
Mythical Fist? Never heard of that name before.
All the internal energy of Ymira was starting to get out of control. Instantly, Daishinkan with a big blow was able to control all the internal energy. Daishinkan? Who is that brat? His power is incomparable.
He is the being who will rise to the top of all of us.
Daishinkan and Kakarot would quickly leave for the Kingdom of the Whole. However, Ymira, not being satisfied with her defeat, would communicate with the most powerful supreme god of all. The instant she arrived, an incredible chaos would be unleashed by not having asked permission to enter her territory. Daishinkan, together with Kakarot, would return to the Kingdom of the Whole, while Ymira, the supreme god who had been defeated by a simple child, would arrive with Iori, who was the most powerful supreme god among all the gods. And even his power was superior to Daishinkan's power. The moment Ymira arrived, an incredible pressure would fall on his body, and throughout the place, Iori's voice would resonate.
Ymira! The supreme gods never meet us unless it's a megaversal extinction threat. And from what I understand, it's not the situation. I'll kill you if you have nothing to say.
I'm sorry, Iori-sama, but really, what I have to tell you, I'm sure it will interest you, since it's about your rival, Daishinkan. Iori would instantly stop releasing her incredible pressure, allowing Ymira to be able to tell her everything that happened, and even that she had a disciple who at only 15 years old had already surpassed the power of all the destructive gods and several supreme gods. I understand the reason why you've come to me, but you are right. A child with that ability should not exist. We must put an end to that damn genius. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of the All, father and son would finish the training. They would both start talking about the battle against the Supreme God. Father, have I done well? But why did you let me use all my power?
My dear son, if you used all your power, you destroy everything, because the two most powerful bloods of this vast universe run through your body.
I want to become much more powerful, Father. I want to be the most powerful angelic Saiyan of all the universes.
Of course it'll be like that, my little Kakarot. Well, what do you think if we train again in that dimension different from ours so that no one feels our power?
That sounds great to me, Father. Let's do it!
That's how both warriors started their training again. But unlike the strength training they normally used to do, this time Daishenka was training Kakarot's internal energy and his vision about the divine world and mortal world because Kakarot wanted to destroy everything in his path. And in the same way, being a son, between an angel and a Saiyan, his appearance would remain permanent like that of a teenager, even if he is hundreds of years old. Returning with the Supreme Gods, the 6 Supreme Gods, they began to devise a plan to finish with that warrior. However, a demon who was also considered the Supreme God would take a step forward.
But we must be prepared to end that whole divine world, because if what our companion Ymira has informed us, that child is very important to the High Priest and the King of the Whole.
Raiki is right, because if we attack that brat, we have to have the power or the ideal plan to be able to finish off the divine beings that come our way.
You're right. What would be a big problem, but how about if Iori and we face Xeno-sama, since we are both the most powerful Supreme Gods, while you finish with Daishenka and that brat?
I totally agree with Savitar, the Supreme God of Time. Since defeating the 2 most powerful pillars of the entire divine world, the other gods and angels are mere worms compared to our power.
However, one of them, 3rd most powerful god, had not given an opinion about him, since his heart was pure goodness, unlike his other companions.
Everything that my classmates are doing are not my ideals. How is it possible that they want to end the life of a simple child?
I would only think this. However, instantly the power of the remaining 5 Supreme Gods would be brutally thrown at Yashi, who is the oldest Supreme God and with noble heart.
Damn, Yashi, did you think that we didn't know your intentions? You wouldn't be able to end the life of a mere child, and we'd better seal you.
The power of these 5 Supreme Gods was incredible. However, everyone took a great surprise to witness how the god they considered useless began to destroy each of their barriers. That's right, the power of the god Yashi was able to consider the Beast Man was abominable, even being a much greater power to the power of Iori, which was considered the most powerful supreme god.
Do you not think that with your simple powers you'd be able to seal me? With that, it would be impossible for such pathetic beings like you. Have you forgotten who founded the kingdom of the supreme gods?
Of course we knows you, but you don't have the power to withstand the barrier of 5 of us. It's impossible for you to get.
For me, it was never impossible. Transformation! God Beast!
Instantly, the entire human appearance of the god Yashi would begin to transform, until the moment of even appearing a few marks on his body, and even nails would grow from it. Yashi, with a powerful blow, was able to destroy all the energy barrier, with which he was able to leave that place. Despite his power being so great, Iori was able to cross his body with a grate.
That hurt me! What the hell was that energy?
Apparently, the rumors are true. Inside that shell of a simple human, asleep the legendary Beast God. But it's a pity that you haven't been able to do something. Returning to the realm of the whole, in the special dimension, Kakarot was able to learn total control of his internal energy, while his father Daishenka was watching all the progress of his son.
Good. Would you be very proud of your son?
Instantly, Kakarot would open his eyes completely, being able to observe the silver color, hinting at the impressiveness that he exuded from his entire body. That's right, Kakarot had been able to achieve 50% of the Ultra Instinct.
Father, what is all this power running through my body?
As I can see, that is the state of imperfect Ultra Instinct.
I'd like to dominate this whole state completely, but Father, I want to meet more Saiyans. I want to know what happened to my race.
Daishenka would change his expression to a much more serious one, as he knew that this day would come.
My little son, your race was destroyed by a tyrant who calls himself the Emperor of Evil, Frieza.
Kakarot would lose the Ultra Instinct, and he would raise his power in a surprising way to Super Saiyan Blue. But the Ultra Instinct, being a state of calm, was not able to control it completely. The whole place would start shaking by the power of Kakarot.
Father, I want to go to that tyrant. I want to finish with my own hands with that damn bastard who dared to eliminate my entire race.
Okay, Kakarot. You are an adult now, and have the full knowledge of good and evil.
Kakarot would return to his base state, but he was very upset. The moment he left that dimension, at an incredible speed, he was heading towards Universe 7, which at the moment of arrival, he would begin to concentrate his feel powers to similar of his. But it would be impossible for Kakarot to have angelic blood. However, on a certain planet, he would feel like thousands of lives would disappear. Hell, this is not the reason I came to this place, but I can't let the being who is killing these warriors stay alive. Kakarot at a great speed would arrive towards the planet, being furious to realize that among the annihilated, there were only children while his power grew. Damn, how are you able to take down mere children? No, I'm done with you. Ha 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 ha! Don't you know who I am? I'm the Emperor of Evil, the Great Frieza. Kakarot would become even more enraged, realizing that the being in front of him was responsible for ending his entire planet. However, Frieza would immediately realize that it was a Saiyan. You're a Saiyan? Ha 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 ha! I thought I'd finished with that race several years ago. I've been finished with each of the survivors. In that case, I'll end your pathetic life this very instant. Kakarot, without letting Frieza react, would grant him a powerful blow, which would send him flying towards a few mountains. The Emperor would quickly recover from that furitive blow, and upon realizing the power of that blow without trusting himself, he would pass to his last form. For a simple ape, you are very powerful, so I would ask you only once. Wouldn't you like to be part of my army? You would be the Supreme Commander. Me being part of your army? Don't make me laugh, you damn worm. You're a simple scum on the side of me. You don't deserve that, even I'm a Saiyan. That transcends everything existing will finish you. Frieza, furious at being undressed in such a way, would throw himself against Kakarot, who without any difficulty was able to dodge each of his blows. Frieza was very surprised by all the power that gave off that Saiyan. Is that really all your power? Give me your best shot. I promise not to dodge it. In case you move me from this place, I'll forgive your pathetic life. Frieza was a little afraid with his maximum power, would instantly hit the face of Kakarot. A great light was detached from the whole place, but instantly one could observe Kakarot with a cold countenance, without any expression. You are not able to make me any scratch. This instant I'll finish with you. Die, murderer! Kakarot, with a few moments, had left Frieza sliced, and with a great attack would pulverize him completely. However, at that moment, when possessing angelic energy, he would rise in space and was able to feel the energy of Whis, an energy very similar to his. Kakarot, without thinking, would quickly come with Whis, arriving in a matter of minutes. Whis would change his expression to a very serious look because he would feel a gigantic power approaching towards the planet of his god of destruction, the same one that was rested. The power that is given to arrive is a gigantic power, but there is something that intrigues me. The power that gives off has angelic essence. That must be impossible. At that moment, Kakarot would arrive, putting himself in front of Whis, which both would observe each other fixedly. The power of that being gives off is incredible. It must be one of my brothers, of whom my father told me. All this would go through Kakarot's mind. He would instantly throw a blow at him, which Kakarot would, without any difficulty, dodge. I could tell you have angelic energy, and also have the dexterity of one, but your appearance is that of a Saiyan. What are you supposed to be? I'm a hybrid, the mixture between an angel and a Saiyan, and I'm here to test the power of one of the angels, since I've never known defeat. Whis would be very surprised by the relief of that Saiyan, but at that moment the god Beerus would wake up from his sleep due to the incredible noise that was outside. But before getting angry at not allowing him to sleep, he was surprised by the pressure that both beings gave off. That's right, the pressure that Kakarot and Whis gave off, they left Beerus very surprised. What the hell? Whis, I've never experienced a release of this level. I can't believe it. Instantly, both brothers began to collide blows. Kakarot only collided blows with the intention of measuring the strength of his opponent, while Whis, not knowing that it was his brother, his blows were much more powerful and of abysmal damage. Kakarot, being caught off guard, would be sent to the planet, creating an incredible crater. From that blow, I already doubt that you'll get up, since not even a god of destruction would be able to withstand it. From the crater, a blue aura would detach. That's right, Kakarot had access to Super Saiyan Blue, but the power he possessed was unreal. You're right. That blow you dealt me was no normal god would take. but I've been able to fight against supreme gods, so you better not underestimate me.
Whis and Beerus were surprised to learn that the being in front of them had been able to even defeat supreme gods. Kakarot on this occasion of a great blow would send Whis to fly. Without waiting for him to recover, he would throw a great attack of energy, which made Whis leave with several wounds all over his body. Meanwhile, in the territory of the supreme gods, Yashi had been able to escape, but his vitality was being lost quickly. That's right, his power was decreasing in an amazing way.
I, the legendary beast god, will not die, but I'll have to face the god of death to be able to come back to life, and it's the last thing I want to do.
The power of the beast god was rising in a great way, that even a beast in his aura would be formed from all the power he had raised. On the other hand, in the All Realm, Daishinkan would notice the battle between Whis and Kakarot, which was about to head towards the Universe 7, and 5 amazing powers would appear in the All Realm. The 5 supreme gods would appear in the king's palace at all. However, a sinister aura was felt all over the place that Daishinkan would notice.
Damn, these wretches have chosen the worst time. I don't know what it is that they want, but their aura and essence eminent pure evil.
When Daishinkan tried to approach the supreme gods, they would begin to attack him. Without allowing him to engage in a conversation, Daishinkan, when dodging one of his attacks, realized that the power with which they told him that blow was from another world. That's right, the simple blow, when colliding with the surface of the Kingdom of the Whole, would cause an incredible explosion. Daishinkan would take a little distance, communicating with each of the gods and angels.
My children and gods, we're under enemy attack of the supreme gods, and mainly to you, my children. I have something to tell you, and I hope I can see you again soon, since apparently this will be my last battle.
All the children of Daishinkan would receive such a message, including Kakarot, who was facing Whis. Kakarot would, upon receiving a message, someone neglected his defense, being beaten by. I'll finish you in the next attack. We will have waited for Daishinkan's disposition. How is it possible that the supreme gods are attacking us? Whis would throw a great attack towards where Kakarot had fallen, but all that power would disappear, being able to observe a silver hair as well as his eyes. That's right, Kakarot, realizing the situation in which his father was able to reach a state of calm, but at the same time a state of confusion, being able to activate the Ultra Instinct, but the power that came out of Kakarot's body was much more powerful than the power possessed by the angels, despite having trained for millions of years. Father, I'm not going to let you die. I'll come to your aid. I'm not going to wait for some damn orders while you die. Beerus, along with Whis, were surprised since all of the gods and angels had transmitted such a message, and if Kakarot had received it, it only meant one thing.
What that little saying is the son of the great priest?
Upon receiving the message, it seems that he's a half-brother, but it can't be, since he does not possess any physical traits of ours.
But Whis, that saying, he possesses angelic energy. Don't you remember what he said? That he even fought the supreme gods?
This should have a logical explanation, but it's not the right time. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of the All, the supreme gods would begin to seal Daishinkan-sama. Priest, you should have never taken your disciple into the world of the supreme gods. All of us have decided to end him, because at such a young age, he gives off that power. He is a danger to everyone. Daishinkan, while being sealed, was not able to do absolutely anything. However, at that moment, an incredible blow from outside was able to weaken the seal, and with the overwhelming power of Daishinkan, he was able to free himself with great difficulty. I will not allow them to seal my father. If they want to do to him, they have to go through my corpse. All of the supreme gods were surprised to realize that the warrior who called himself the disciple of Daishinkan was actually his son. It's a pity, but Daishinkan, I'm not an animal to kill you, seal, in front of your son. So for this occasion, I'll kill both, so that both disappear.
Kakarot, get out of here!
No, father. I plan to stay with you until the end.
Leave, Kakarot. I cannot release and fight with all my power if you're here. My energy can hurt you.
Kakarot, being about to leave Sorat, would get in his way. Daishinkan, being about to help him, he would be surprised to observe Sorat's head fall to the ground, and a large sphere of energy would be disintegrated. The 4 gods were surprised by the power that Saiyan had.
Ymira, Savitar, and Reich, you take care of that kid, and I'll take care of Daishaken personally since he and I used to have the same power. Hell, Aori's power has risen in an incredible way. But where is the king at all? Daishaken, I know you're wondering where the king is at all. But he wouldn't have come to this place without taking the respective measures. Maybe you guys. How were they able to defeat Xeno-sama? No one talked about beating him. Xeno-sama's a little kid, so tricking him was easy. The only thing that was able to take down his guardian stealthily. Hell, in that case, we're all alone. But gods and angels are on my side. At that moment, a general call for all the gods along with their angels to approach the Kingdom of the All. Since it was an emergency, all the gods began to come to the Kingdom of the All. It's a good plan, but before they even arrive, I must have already finished you. Because besides me, you're simple trash. Don't get confused, Aori. We have the same power, while I have trained, which makes you think to not raise my power anymore. You're right, Daishaken, but look behind you! At that moment, Daishaken, turning his head, was able to observe how Kakarot had been completely neutralized. That's right, despite Kakarot having an incredible power, he was not able to do anything against the three subjects. So, Daishaken, do you want to confront me at the risk of your child dying, or do you want to give yourself up for your own free will? Daishaken would lower his head while his lips moved a little. Angelic quadrupling, Angel of the Spectres, High Priest. Aori would be sent to fly with an incredible blow that would make him collide with an exploding planet instantly. Daishaken, with his incredible speed, would grant a blow to each god who had held Kakarot. At the moment, Daishaken would observe his little son while he changed his strange energy in his palm of his hand. My son, get together with all your brothers. That is to say that each one of you, the angels, among all of you, you'll be able to overcome this adversity. I love you, son. Daishaken would throw a great energy towards Kakarot, which would be teleported towards divine universes, while Daishaken would begin to channel all his power. Aori, how dare you threaten me with my son? Even if I die, I plan to take at least two of you with me. The whole body of Daishaken would begin to shine. Instantly, an immense megaversal explosion could be observed by the 12 universes. The angels which were heading to the Kingdom of the Whole would stop, since the big explosion would be able to be observed at a distance, and only the shockwave was able to cause great damage to the gods. Our father had sacrificed himself. The warrior who forced him to this must have been an absolute monster, but they have both died. You are wrong, my brother. My father has died, but the 4 warriors he was facing all are still alive. Daishaken, while sacrificing himself, would communicate with each of his children. My children, I'm sorry. Me, being the High Priest, has broken the most important rule. Do not associate with any mortal. You all have a younger brother, which is my son and Saiyan. I hope you'll excuse me. The explosion would end, while all the angels were very surprised by the great revelation of his father. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of the Whole, Aori was furious, knowing that the most dangerous being had been saved. However, on a planet very far from a universe unknown to all, Daishaken would fall very badly injured and on the verge of death. So I haven't died. This is a blessing, but I have to hibernate to be able to recover. I trust you, my little Kakarot. Daishaken would be out of combat while Kakarot had arrived at one of the planets of the Divine Universes. Instantly, if he arrived, he would be unconscious. However, for Kakarot's fortune, he had been found by Mikoshin. That's right, Daishaken's mother, who would realize that he possessed angelic energy, taking him to a place on his planet, which he specialized in the recovery of internal energy. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of the Whole, the 4 supreme gods would begin to meditate so that all your energy is completely stabilized. However, the most psychologically affected was Savitar. Damn it! How is it possible that he attacked me with such great speed? It was said that no one was capable of surpassing my speed, but for that priest, it was no difficulty to leave me like a worm. Meanwhile, with each of the angels, they were in the most inhospitable planets of the 12 universes so as not to be discovered. Hey, Whis, why don't we travel to the other universes outside of the 12? Mr. Beerus, that would be impossible for us, because the power that is needed to cross megaversal barriers is of another level. We would be pulverized.
Returning with Kakarot, he would wake up from a great fright, accessing even the Super Saiyan Blue. Apparently all a nightmare, but he would be surprised to observe a warrior very similar to his father, but in a female version.
Am I dead? What happened? Of course not, little one. You have only fallen into the divine universes. I am Mikoshin, and who are you? My name's Kakarot. I'm a hybrid between an angel and a Saiyan.
Mikoshin would be very surprised to realize that an angel had been involved with a mortal, but much more was her astonishment to realize that her father was Daishinkan. That's right, he was her own son. Instantly, Mikoshin would hug Kakarot tightly, which he understood absolutely nothing.
What do you mean, grandson? Are you the mother of my father, Daishinkan? So it is, little Kakarot. I'm Daishinkan's mother, but tell me, why did you come with those wounds? Who were the wretches who dared to kill almost my little grandson? Those responsible were the supreme gods. They attacked my father while I was facing Whis, so I went to his aid, finishing with one of them, but between three they were able to neutralize me completely. But where was Daishinkan? Where was he? Why didn't I help you? My father Daishinkan gave me the perfect opportunity, since he was the one who sent me to this place. He sacrificed everything for me so that, for a reason, I want to become more powerful, to end every one of those those bastards. They will be eliminated by my dear grandson, and don't worry that I, the supreme high-level priestess, personally took care of your training. I really appreciate it very much. Before starting with your training, I want to raise your power to the maximum. I want to observe what is the limit of your power. Kakarot would immediately begin to raise his power to the limit, accessing the Super Saiyan Blue Phase 3, with which his power was gigantic. However, it did not compare with the Ultra Instinct, however. He was still not able to access that state at will. But despite this, Mikoshin would be very surprised. The power he possesses is amazing. At only 21 years old, he possesses the power of even being to have trained for millions of years.
All this, she would say to herself. Instantly, Mikoshin would stretch out one of her hands, creating a pentagram on top of Kakarot's. That's right, Mikoshin had sealed 90% of Kakarot's internal energy, which would be very surprised. And this time, it was hard for him to move freely.
What's happened? Why is this happening to me? In order for your energy as a Saiyan to grow much faster, you will have to travel all the way from zero. But don't worry, when I unlock your power again, it will rise in a way never seen before. Trust me. Of course, yes. Let's start.
Kakarot, despite all his attempts to take the training to his equal, it was impossible for him, since he just was standing in incredibly difficult, much more to dodge or launch energy attacks. Mikoshin, who was watching everything, was very proud of her grandson's power, since even her son Daishinkan had gone through that training, not being able to stand.
You will be the prodigy of our race, the supreme angelic Saiyan.
Meanwhile, in the world of supreme gods, a golden-colored stone would begin to rotate with incredible speed. And at the moment, the beast god would appear in his most powerful state, cursing each one of his other companions who turned their backs on him, despite having taught them everything about the world of the supreme gods. The powerful god Yashi was releasing all his beastly power, which was perceived by the four supreme gods, and even by the mother of Daishinkan, so it had been felt by the powerful Mikoshin-sama, who would quickly recognize that key.
Wow! Apparently after millions of years, Yashi had decided to release the true power for which even our clan gave life.
Flashback. Hundreds of millions of years ago, in the highest territory of the supreme divine gods, or better known as the gods of infinity, a powerful baby with white hair had been born. But at the moment of birth, he was able to kneel to 80% of all the gods of the divine universes or higher. I am very proud of the power that my son has. He will be the true ruler of everything that I have built. He is the chosen.
But father, I'm your firstborn. This should not happen since the law supports me. I'll not allow a newborn to keep everything that by law belongs to me.
Noah, which was the name of the god, would pounce against his brother. His father would try to stop him, but he was able to overcome his speed. However, at the moment of granting him a great blow, a powerful beast would form all over the place. That's right, he was the first Ozaru in the upper world and likewise his first appearance.
I don't know what I am, but I know that this baby's my master. I'll not allow any of you to hurt him. I don't care if you're family. You and I will crush like simple ants.
Damn useless beast, you don't know who we are, so you better get out of my way if you don't want to die.
The gigantic Ozaru would not say absolutely, watching him intently, which the god, furious in the same way, launched himself against him. But on this occasion, the Ozaru would not dodge any of his blows, but the fists of Noah, who was in the ranking of the 5 most powerful gods, was being rattled, that's right, just by hitting the skin of that beast. His fists were bleeding.
You've been warned, King Beast, freeze!
At that instant, everything around him would freeze, and even a great pressure would be felt all over that place. That's right, the pressure of the beast god would be felt for the first time despite being only a baby. The pressure was able to make all the gods kneel, with the exception of one, who was the king of that world and the father of Yashi.
I realize that my son's power is impressive, and you should not worry because we will give him the best attention, and nothing will ever happen to him. I hope so, since the murderous essence of his supposed brother is true. He really wants to end Yashi's life, and I'll never allow that.
All this had happened while that god had evolved and was able to surpass all the geniuses of his clan, and far above his brother and father. However, one day an ambush infinite divinity level was his downfall, in which, despite Yashi using all his power, he was not able to do absolutely anything, was banished from 90% of all his powers. But despite only having 10% of his powers, he was able to become the most powerful supreme god, and even training the powerful Mikoshin-sama, who likewise suffered exile, being his main angel.
Mikoshin, I really appreciate your loyalty to me. I promise that we'll take revenge on the whole divine world. Even my own family turned their backs on me. Don't worry, Yashi-sama. I'll always be there for you, because thanks to you, I have been able to achieve all of his power.
Yashi, with his great power in the same way, but despite being in the mortal world, he was able to create alternate dimensions, and one of them would call them the Divine Universes, which Mikoshin and Yashi were the rulers. However, over time, more supreme gods appeared, so that at that moment, Yashi would offer to teach them everything he knew, until the most powerful god Aori betrayed him again as well as his family. And flashback.
Mikoshin was right. After all, one can't trust anyone, because they're simple worms. They're simple garbage. I intend to finish with every one of those miserable.
Meanwhile, with Kakarot's training, he was able to master his power. However, without Mikoshin or anyone from the divine world knowing, inside Kakarot, Yashi's power was sleeping. That's right, Kakarot, despite being Kakarot's son, Yashi was able to grant him a gigantic power while Gine was pregnant.
If everything I was able to see in the future is correct, this baby is the salvation of everything existing, and I trust that Daishinken and Mikoshin will grant him the necessary power.
Going back to Daishinken, he was in hibernation, but the pain of your body would wake him up. Because superficially, he was healed, but internally, despite having spent a few months of his internal energy, still in a total out of control.
Hell, I won't be able to recover if my energy continues this way. I have to do and fast, since instead of healing my body has been decreasing.
Daishinken, with his whole body in terrible condition, would be able to perceive a little of the power of Kakarot, with which, using his few energies, he would be able to use the same ability to go to the same place. However, the power he would acquire would be much greater, since halfway Daishinken would fall on a planet completely bleeding out due to his bad state.
Damn, I haven't been able to get out with my little Kakarot. Apparently, this place will be where the great priest will die.
But luck was on Daishinken's side because, at the moment, Yashi would appear next to him, putting a hand on Daishinken's chest and transmitting an overwhelming power, which was able to heal all Daishinken's wounds completely. But in the same way, he was breaking every one of his bones.
Priest, thanks to you, all these universes will survive. But right now, you have to master all that power, because Kakarot needs you. In case you're not with him, Kakarot will sink in a path of blood.
Daishinken, knowing all this, he would try to control the power as of place, but each of his bones was broken at every moment. However, after 3 hours of incredible pain, Daishinkan was able to control the power a little, managing to decrease his power. But still, he was not able to walk due to how heavy all his power was.
This power is incredible, but aren't you the god Yashi? It was said that you were one of the weakest supreme gods.
It's what I was always made everyone to believe, but even my power surpasses the bastard of Aoi.
I swear I'll end that wretch's life. Because of him, I'll send Kakarot far away. I just hope he is well.
Don't worry about Kakarot for now, he's fine. But you have to master all the power I've granted you 100% for you to be able to defeat the rebellious gods.
But you have the necessary power to defeat him.
That's right, but this power is for another matter. Right now, I don't know if I'll come back, but I'm grateful for that savior and successor has been born, so I can leave in peace. Daishinkan, before he could say anything, Yashi had disappeared with his great speed, being able to cross hundreds of high-ranking divine barriers. That's right, Yashi had headed to the world of the gods' infinity. The moment he arrived, he was able to observe his brother, who, a little confident after millions of years had passed, would transport behind Yashi, talking to his ear. How long about seeing you, brother? But I could tell that your power is still sealed. It's a shame. On this occasion, I'll take revenge for all that humiliations. At the moment that Noah would try to grant him a blow, Noah's head would be torn from a great blow, which had the power to finish with the most powerful infinity god. Ha ha ha! Damn worm, you're right. My power's still sealed, but I need all my power to finish with a fucking trash like you are. The whole floor would be filled with blood, while at that moment, all the warriors rushed against Yashi, who began to fall defeated one by one. Instantly, the king and father of Yashi would appear in front of him, releasing all his power, realizing that he had ended the life of Noah.
It was your brother. You're a murderer. Now I'll end your life.
Father and son began to exchange blows at incredible speeds. However, it was absolutely nothing for Yashi's power, which, despite having 90% of all his power sealed, he was able to humiliate his father, while all the other warriors were annihilated by the simple extortion of his fists. Instantly, Yashi was able to connect a big blow, throwing him to the ground. Ha 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 ha! What's the matter, father? Is that the power of the king of the universes of infinity?
You're a monster! You're the worst thing that could have happened to these universes.
I was your son! Now I'll die just like all of you. I don't plan to die without my family. Yashi's whole body would begin to light up with a great light. All the warriors, realizing that Yashi was doing, began to flee. However, it was impossible for them since Yashi had sealed the entire infinite universe. We will all die here, as none of you will be able to withstand a supreme infinite level explosion, as is my power. At the moment, the big explosion would be divided into 4 great powers, which began to destroy everything around them, and even ending the life of every living being in the multiverse. The lives that would disappear were even felt by Mikoshin. So after millions of years, you have found your successor, and for that reason you have finished the whole universe of infinity. But Mikoshin did not know that the successor of the beast power was her beloved grandson, whom she was training. That's right, since Kakarot's power still did not reach even 2% of its real capacity, Kakarot's power would explode when he was able to enter the Valley of Infinity. On the contrary, he only possessed the power of an angel and a Saiyan. Meanwhile, in all of Kakarot's training, he himself was able to master the Ultra Instinct to the maximum. Mikoshin-sama, I've been able to master the Ultra Instinct to its maximum power. I'm ready for the next training. That surprised me, Kakarot. But this time I will be your training. That's right, you should be able to give me a hit. Of course, if I want to avenge my father's death and become the most powerful being in existence, I'll have to try much harder. The new training began between Mikoshin and Kakarot, had started with which Kakarot wanted to break all his limits as a Saiyan. Meanwhile, with Daishinkan, he was also meditating in an alternate dimension since he wanted to overcome his limits. In the same way,
the mighty god Yashi entrusted me with all this power. I'll not disappoint him. I'll be able to master all the power, and I'll end the lives of those miserable.
Daishinkan would continue with his great training, which was making Daishinkan's power increase incredibly by possessing in his entire body the power of the beast god. Meanwhile, with all the 4 supreme gods, these had completely recovered.
It's time to start looking for that dwarf. Since knowing that his father had died, he must have powered up. We can't allow that.
You're correct, but how do we find it? We're not able to feel the power of that child.
It'd be better to destroy this entire multiverse, since apparently it has great closeness with the beings of these worlds.
Aori would begin to channel a large sphere of fire, with which he wished to destroy everything in his path. The incredible power of Ori was heading towards the entire multiverse of Xeno-sama. Instantly, all the gods and angels joined together, being able to form the Ultimate Warrior, with which much difficulty was able to dodge such a sneaky attack.
Wow, what do we have here? Yet another piece of rubbish has appeared. I am the one in charge of finishing you, since all the gods and angels have decided to form a single being.
Aori, of a big blow, would send him to fly to a planet because he had a bad feeling. While the fusion of all the gods, he was not able to do anything. He would recover from the blow, and at the moment, they would begin to clash their fists all over the multiverse of Xeno-sama. The whole battle was releasing great slings of energies, which even reached the dimension where Daishenka was entering, and in the same way Kakarot would realize everything that had happened.
Apparently, the last resistance, which are the gods and angels, have started in the battle, but I promise to bring them to life with the Super Dragon Balls. I have to control all this power.
Those miserable bastards! I intend to end them this very instant. No, Kakarot, that's crazy! You won't be able to do anything!
But at that moment, in the mind of Yashi would appear, asking him to take him to the Eternal Forest, as it would be the place where Kakarot will awaken his power.
Mikoshin, do as I tell you. Trust me.
But in the same way, you together with your son Daishenkin be the last resistance, because Kakarot will not bear to see everything destroyed. Mikoshin, trusting his King Yashi completely, would take Kakarot quickly to the Eternal Forest, in which Lightning Storm would begin to hit him in a brutal way. While as Kakarot began to concentrate, he was able to dominate every lightning bolt that hit him.
This place is amazing, but I can't waste my time, since my friends are in grave danger. I'm not gonna let the Xeno-sama multiverse be destroyed.
Kakarot, despite using all his powers, was not able to do anything to leave that place, which had an incredible resistance. Kakarot, without remedy, would begin to train to increase the power of his blows. Meanwhile, in the training of Daishenkin, the three-dimensional barrier would be completely destroyed. That's right, because the incredible power of Mikoshin was able to destroy it, Daishenkin would get into a battle pose, but he was surprised to observe his mother and the first priestess of all creation.
Mikoshin-sama, what is it that you intend to do in this place?
It's not time for questions, but it will be better to help all the gods, while Kakarot masters the power beyond one god.
How do you know my son? Is it because of fate's impact on your planet?
That's right, Daishenkin. The teleportation technique you used. I send it directly to part of my planet, but it's better to help the gods.
Of course, if Mikoshin-sama will be able to beat him, and so my dear son won't have to get hurt.
Both angels began to fly at incredible speeds, which, when they arrived, they were able to observe the fusion. In terrible conditions and on the verge of death, due to all the damage received in the battle, even their hatred and knows they shed blood.
But if it's the useless Daishenkin and the powerful Mikoshin, but currently if powerful, you have nothing, since our power is much greater than yours.
Little Aori, you are completely mistaken. If you think you have the necessary power to defeat me, I want to check it. Aori instantly rushed towards Mikoshin. He was amazed, realizing how Mikoshin just expelled a little of his power. His simple aura had stopped his blow, while Daishenkin would stand in front of Savitar and rake.
At this moment, I plan to finish with you without having been able to deal with the notice as I've done.
Daishenkin would keep his word, since both gods were not able to release any of their power. Being completely defeated by Daishenkin, and a large sphere of energy would be pulverized, forming part of the cosmic dust of the universe.
I didn't count on this result, but thank you, Daishenkin, for putting an end to those useless.
Instantly, purple-colored spheres of energy began to enter Aori's body, which was beginning to mutate a little. So much was the power that even a part of his face would turn a little red, while his power increased in incredible ways. Meanwhile, Kakarot, in that dimension, had spent about 20 years in which his power had risen in a bestial way. Instantly, Kakarot would release an overwhelming power, being able to access the Super Saiyan Phase 4. But in all the aura, the silhouette of the Beast God, included to that of an Ozaru, could be observed.
This power's amazing! Now I just need to get out of this thing.
Kakarot, despite the great power he possessed, when trying to move, he would not be able to do it because his whole body weighed hundreds of tons due to the new power which Kakarot was not able to control. Kakarot, a little desperate without knowing what was happening outside, would decide to master 100% of the power of his new transformation. I don't have time to sit around doing nothing, and it'll be better to meditate as quickly as possible. Kakarot would begin with his great meditation, and although each of the rays collided with Kakarot, they were not able to penetrate his hard skin. Returning to the battlefield, the art of Aori had exploded in a surprising way, with which he was able to even release a pressure which would not let both angels move freely.
What the hell? Your appearance changes drastically, as does your power.
This is the power of the Supreme Gods together. Now each of their technical powers live in me. I'll finish with you by the death of my other brothers.
Aori would begin to exchange hundreds of blows with both angels, which this time they were not able to do anything. Because despite being able to observe Aori's blows, their bodies were really slow to try to dodge them. Mikosha would be sent to some rocks on the Kingdom of the Hole, but furious, she would get up expelling much more power, while Aori was playing with Daishinken. At the moment, Mikosha would quickly join the battle, but this time the power of Aori had surprised them by tens of times, for which he would start torturing Daishinken, using hundreds of energy arrows all over his body, which caused the great priest to spill large amounts of blood.
Damn worm.
If you confess we're your damn son, I promise to finish with both of you without any pain.
I would never do that. I'd rather you end my existence.
You get them from being brave, not knowing that you're trash next to me. Aori, with his great power, was directing his last blow towards Daishinken, but instantly the fusion would get in his way, which was very badly injured. Aori, furious, was about to give a big blow to the fusion.
You're a cockroach next to me, but you've made me angry that I'll get irritated.
Aori, when directing his powerful blow, an incredible pressure, like his fist, was held with an unreal force, so much that it would break several bones of his arm. Now, he would quickly accelerate his energy so that he would be able to heal the damage, but he was surprised to realize that it was the Saiyan, but the pressure that he released was incredible. If I had to compare it, it would be said that Kakarot's power could be observed as a giant, while Aori's power seemed like that of a simple ant.
You have already caused so much damage to these multiverses. I've been able to get hold of the original power of the Beast God. Now neither you nor anyone else will be able to cope with me. I'll make you suffer in the worst way possible.
Kakarot would direct a great blow to the face of Aori, which due to the incredible power would be thrown thousands of meters, by which Kakarot would use a little of his new power, creating an angelic field over the whole place, and those who were inside were able to recover all their energies.
It's time, Supreme God Aori.
He even beat Yashi, the damn one who said he was called the first Beast God. So I'm going to end up with you, you cheap copy.
Attack me if you think I'm a cheap copy.
Aori, very furious, would start clashing fists with Kakarot, which in each shock of his blows left Aori very badly injured, who could do absolutely nothing.
What do you think about this? Nebula of Death Saiyan!
The whole place would pray to hundreds of rays, while a black pressure would spread all over the place. Aori, realizing that all this was a poison, would use powerful burst of energy with which he was able to clear everything around.
With those simple tricks, you won't be able to beat me. I'm a super god. Pathetic warrior like you won't be able to do anything against me.
But at the end of saying that, Aori's entire body suffered incredible damage since Kakarot did not waste any opportunity to cause great damage to his enemy.
Miserable! How is it possible that you have so much power? I can't believe it. Even Yashi didn't possess all this power.
Haha! Don't make me laugh. If Yashi-sama wanted to finish you, it would have been enough just one of my fingers, since its power is no competition whatsoever.
So really, Yashi-sama used all that power to be able to exterminate the entire infinite universe.
I'm very proud of my little Kakarot. He's been able to even surpass me.
The fusion at the moment would end, appearing all the angels and gods, which in the same way were recovering thanks to the energy field of Kakarot.
Father, so that Saiyan is your dear younger brother?
You're right, Whis, but the power he possesses is amazing, as you can tell. At such a young age, he even surpasses my power.
But in the entire multiverse, a great portal would be created from which the great Xeno-sama would appear very upset, because none of his guardians would come to his call.
What's happening? Have you left me trapped in that dimension?
But Xeno-sama would realize this incredible negativity that emanated from Iori's body, but despite all that dark power, his essence remained the same.
You're Iori. You, along with the other supreme gods, left me in that place. Now I'll finish with each of you. I don't plan to let this stay like this. Great Xeno-sama, I implore you to let me finish Iori with my own hands, since this one has ended hundreds of lives and doesn't deserve such a benevolent death. Oh, it's okay, Kakarot. It'll be as you decide. I trust you, Kakarot.
Those bastards are so sure they'll end my existence, but if I die, I don't plan to go to hell alone. My final explosion will end everything existing.
Kakarot, while walking to Iori, thousands of catastrophes were generated all over the place, but which made the ancient supreme god enter into terror. It was when observing in the aura of Kakarot the first legendary Ozaru and the guardian of Yashi, Iori, when observing that wise beast that his end was approaching. So without thinking about it, he would create a small explosion to distract everyone present while flying all over the universe.
I don't have the power to face that thing, since its power surpasses all kinds of power.
But in front of Iori, Kakarot would appear, pulling him tightly by the neck, while Iori, giving blows, was not able to let go of the grip of the Saiyan.
It's time, you murderer, to finish you. If you murder, you must be prepared to be murdered. So die!
Iori would try to use a big explosion, but Kakarot, as if it were a beast, he would put his hand in Iori's chest, which, before dying, Kakarot would use an energy called the Shaiken, which was the energy of the first gods of infinity, much more aggressive than Haki himself.
Finally, oh, this is over. But with this great power, I have to be able to return everything to normal.
Kakarot would rise to the top of the 12 universes, beginning to expel too much power, while the planets in each of the universes began to return to normal.
Damn, this is too tiring! Legendary Ozaru, give me your power!
Incredible power, like a gigantic Ozaru, could be observed by all the universes, making everything around it rumble. Due to the great energy change, it being able to restore everything destroyed by Iori, Kakarot would return to his base state after several months because its energy reserves were almost reaching zero.
My son is amazing. He'll be the one who reaches the maximum capacity as the Angelic King.
As all the gods and angels would make a bow towards Kakarot, which despite being in its base state, still emanated a great power.
Oh, this isn't necessary, because no matter who I am, if someone believes that he can destroy the multiverse in which I was born, he has to first end my existence.
That was how Kakarot would begin to present himself with each of the gods, as well as with his brothers. I could tell that at such a young age, you have an incredible power. I'm sorry for you in your previous fight to fight with the intention of ending your life. I didn't know who you were.
Don't worry, I completely understand.
Great God, Supreme Kakarot, could you be my teacher?
I'm not good at teaching, but when you want, I'll have a match with you, Beerus.
And that's how Kakarot would begin in the same way to protect the great Xeno-sama and beings which threatened any universe and overcame the power of the gods. Kakarot was in charge. That's right, the presence of Kakarot had created a respect in several universes while fear in the evil. Vegeta's transformation in Super Saiyan Blue Evolved caused a dramatic change in the intensity of the battle. His bright blue aura flashed with overwhelming energy as he charged towards the shadowy creature and Broly, who was still under his influence.
It's time to put an end to this. Broly, I'll fight to free you from this darkness.
The shadow creature, sensing the threat posed by Super Saiyan Blue, adopted a defensive stance. On the other hand, Broly, his eyes still darkened, prepared to face Vegeta. Vegeta unleashed a flurry of quick and precise attacks, combining punches and kicks with astonishing speed. Each move was charged with the strength of the new form, and the shadow creature was forced to retreat in the face of Vegeta's fury.
Broly, regain control. I'll not allow this darkness to consume you.
Broly, under the influence of the Dark Possession, responded with impressive stamina. His attacks were brutal and uncontrolled, but Vegeta moved with a dexterity that defied expectations.
and need to find an opening in this possession.
In an act of bravery, Vegeta launched himself directly towards Broly. Their fists collided forcefully, and Vegeta, using all his skill, made precise strikes that temporarily weakened the dark influence.
Broly, fight this! You're stronger than this darkness!
The shadowy creature, seeing Vegeta's resistance, increased his energy and fused even more with Broly. Now the dark influence was more entrenched than ever, and Broly unleashed an explosion of wild power.
You can't stop me, Saiyan Prince!
Vegeta, not backing down, continued to engage Broly. The battle reached new heights as both warriors unleashed their most powerful attacks. Vegeta launched a Big Bang attack while Broly responded with a gigantic charge of dark energy. The collision of energies generated a huge explosion that blanketed the area. After the dust settled, Vegeta lay on the ground, clearly exhausted but not giving up.
I can't lose. My determination's stronger than your darkness.
The battle between Vegeta and Broly, who was possessed by the shadow creature, reached a critical point. The overflowing energy of the confrontation was spreading across the battlefield, distorting the air and creating palpable tension. At that crucial moment, Goku found himself regaining consciousness, stood up, and immediately went to Saiyan Prince's side.
Vegeta, let's go! Let's give it all we've got!
Goku's transformation into Super Saiyan Phase 2 and joined the fray. The shadow creature, seeing the arrival of another Saiyan warrior, prepared to face the new threat.
Kakarot, you're just in time. This thing has gotten stronger with Broly.
We'll face it together! Broly, we won't let this darkness control you!
The three Saiyans stood in formation, ready to deal with the shadow creature fused with Broly. The intensity of the conflict increased even more, with flashes of energy and clashes of fists echoing throughout the battlefield.
Come on, Kakarot, let's attack in unison and free Broly.
I got it, Vegeta! Together, we'll free him!
The Saiyans coordinated their attacks, launching a combined blast towards the shadow creature. Despite their efforts, Broly's dark possession was still resisting, fueled by the brute strength of the legendary Saiyan. Broly, under the influence of the shadow creature, unleashed an uncontrolled fury. His attacks were unpredictable and devastating, putting the Saiyans on the defensive. Goku, Vegeta, and the shadow creature continued to exchange energy blasts and powerful blows.
Vegeta, we must break that possession! We can't let Broly fall into darkness!
Roger that, Kakarot. Let's keep attacking together.
Amidst the chaos of the battlefield, the fiery aura of the Saiyans lit up the sky, a visual manifestation of their mammoth power. Goku and Vegeta, feeling the weight of the battle, decided to take it a step further. They joined their energies in a symphony of power, a final bid to tear apart the shadows enveloping the evil presence. The shadow creature on the brink of the abyss responded with desperation. It raised its own power, and the darkness churned with intensity as it struggled to resist the combined onslaught of the Saiyans. The clash of energies created a cataclysm of flashes and booms, shaking the battlefield to its core. At that critical moment, the energy explosion was unleashed with dazzling magnificence. The earth shook, and the shockwaves swept across the landscape, leaving behind a trail of destruction. Goku, Vegeta, and Broly, enveloped in the blanket of the explosion, were momentarily eclipsed by the blinding light and dancing shadow. When the shimmering luminosity faded, the Saiyans found themselves faced with a new scenario. On the ground lay Broly, his figure shrouded in a residual haze of the contest. The dark aura that had consumed him had finally dissipated. Stillness reigned on the battlefield. As the warriors approached with worried looks, the formidable warrior who now resisted, his power darkened, finally silenced.
We did it, Vegeta! Broly's free!
Yes, but this shadow creature's still a problem. We can't let our guard down.
Vegeta nodded grimly as they watched Broly, who lay on the ground, slowly recovering from the intense battle. However, at that moment of apparent calm, the shadow creature, cunning and unnoticed, had left Broly's possession to seek a new host. The dark entity swiftly swept into the shadows, unnoticed by the Saiyans, who still assessing their companion's condition. Silently, the shadow creature crept towards Gohan, who had been watching the battle from a distance. Gohan, oblivious to the threat looming over him, felt a shiver run down his spine, just as the shadow creature enveloped him with its dark presence. A momentary flash of its eyes indicated that something was terribly wrong.
At that instant, Gohan, with a sudden alteration in his expression, went on guard without warning. His gaze, now posed by the shadow creature, glowed with a malevolence that contrasted with his gentle nature. Goku, noticing the sudden tension, turned towards Gohan, but before he could react, Gohan, under the influence of the shadow creature, moved with supernatural speed. The confrontation with Broly had left the Saiyans exhausted, and the shadow creature, seizing the opportunity, vanished into the darkness along with Gohan. Vegeta, realizing the situation, gritted his teeth in fury. The threat persisted, and now Gohan, a valuable ally, was in the hands of the shadows. Goku and Vegeta, despite their exhaustion, prepared for a new confrontation, aware that the battle had not yet come to an end. The tension in the air was palpable, as Goku and Vegeta, still worried about Broly, with determination, turned towards the place where the dark entity had vanished.
Damn it, where'd that thing go? I don't know, Vegeta, but we must find it before it hurts Gohan.
The two Saiyans, quick as the wind, rushed towards where Gohan had been standing, their senses alert. The shadow creature, now inside Gohan, emerged from the shadows with a sinister laugh.
Looks like they're not as cunning as they thought. Now I have a new toy for my plans. Get out of Gohan, you damn creature.
I'll not allow you to possess my son.
Ha! You think you could stop me? My power possesses even more of your combined forces. Do not underestimate the Saiyans. We have overcome greater challenges than you.
Leave Gohan and face your fate, creature. You'll not be victorious.
The shadow creature, now in control of Gohan, smiled malevolently before responding.
We'll see how long you can resist. Gohan is now an instrument of my will.
The shadow creature possessing Gohan unleashed a burst of dark energy that distorted the surrounding space. Goku and Vegeta suddenly found themselves during a chaotic confrontation, with Gohan now transformed into an instrument of the malevolent entity. The waves of energy radiating from Gohan's possessed figure created an ominous aura that filled the battlefield, defying the Saiyans' endurance and determination. The Saiyans, in their Super Saiyan Blue form, prepared for the impending clash. The shadow creature, using Gohan's body, moved with supernatural agility, dodging the Saiyans' first attacks with grace and malice. Gohan, his eyes now filled with darkness, lunged at Goku with astonishing speed. Goku blocked Gohan's first few blows with difficulty, feeling the enhanced strength and speed of his new controlled son. The fight was intense, each move charged with power and ferocity. Meanwhile, Vegeta positioned himself strategically, assessing the situation, looking for an opening to attack. The shadow creature, through Gohan, unleashed a flurry of attack, which devastating blows that kept Goku on the defensive. However, Goku's ability to adapt quickly to the battle allowed him to counter the attacks and counterattack with his own overwhelming power. Vegeta, sensing an opportunity, lunged at the shadow creature from an unexpected angle. However, the dark entity had sharp reflexes and deflected Vegeta's attack with ease, throwing Gohan against Goku as a distraction. The shadow creature's strategy paid off, as it took advantage of the distraction to hit Vegeta with a beam of dark energy. Vegeta, although he resisted the impact, was momentarily weakened. The entity, now with a malevolent smile, turned to him.
Damn it! This isn't over, shadow creature.
Goku, reacting quickly, stepped between the shadow creature and Vegeta.
Vegeta, hold on. We can't let this thing divide us.
The shadow creature, enjoying the chaos it had sown, released a dark aura that enveloped both Saiyans. The dark energy sought to confuse and weaken their senses. However, the Saiyans' instinctive connection to Ki enabled them to resist the dark influence. The battle raged in a frenzy of clashing colors and energies. Gohan, controlled by the shadow creature, moved with a mixture of speed and agility that defied the laws of physics. Goku and Vegeta, each focusing on their own battlefront, were trying to coordinate their attacks to free Gohan from the dark possession.
Gohan, fight this darkness! You're stronger than this!
Gohan, though showing flashes of resistance, was caught in an internal struggle between his will and the shadow creature's control. The battle grew more challenging. With each passing second, the shadow creature reveled in its ability to manipulate and corrupt one of Earth's mightiest warriors. Vegeta, recovering from the earlier onslaught, threw himself back into the fray. The shadow creature, however, anticipated his attack and gracefully dodged Vegeta's attempts to strike it. The dark entity counterattacked with a series of precise blows that forced Vegeta to retreat.
You damn shadow, don't underestimate the Prince of the Saiyans.
Goku, seeing his partner's difficulty, raised his power to the maximum. Dazzling energy emanated from his Super Saiyan Blue form as he prepared for a concentrated attack. The shadow creature, noticing the glowing threat, diverted its attention to Goku.
Vegeta, keep up the pressure. I'm gonna concentrate my energy to free Gohan.
Vegeta nodded and increased his offensive, distracting the shadow creature as Goku concentrated his power. The fight reached a new level of intensity, with each move echoing across the vast battlefield. The energy collided, creating shockwaves that distorted reality itself. Goku, eyes glowing with determination, unleashed his most powerful attack. A sphere of glowing blue energy formed in his outstretched hands. Charged with the combined strength of the Saiyans, the spear grew in size and the power as Goku had held it in place.
It's time to free Gohan!
The shadow creature, realizing the threat, moved quickly to stop Goku's attack. Vegeta, taking advantage of the distraction, lunged with renewed fury, looking for an opening to attack. The battle reached its climax when Goku released the energy sphere, ascending it directly towards the shadow creature. The energy sphere burst into a dazzling flash, illuminating the battlefield with intense light. Shockwaves swept through the darkness as Goku's purifying energy sought to free Gohan from the shadow creature's possession. However, as the light faded and the earth stopped shaking, the shadow creature emerged seemingly unharmed. The dark entity, now irritated, turned to the Saiyans with a twisted laugh.
Is that all you can do? My power is unbreakable.
Goku and Vegeta, despite their exhaustion, prepared for the next assault. The battle, far from ending, dragged on into confrontation of epic proportions. Darkness and light collided in an endless clash, with the will of the Saiyans resisting against the entity that threatened to plunge them into the shadows. The dark creature, after resisting Goku's powerful attack, showed a malicious smile. A dark glow enveloped Gohan, and his body began to tremble with intensity. A guttural scream echoed through the air as the dark entity forced a unique transformation on the Saiyan warrior. Gohan, under the shadow creature's influence, contorted and his body was enveloped in a dark, feral energy. The earth trembled with the intensity of the transformation, and Gohan's figure began to change. Defined musculature, red eyes, a wild gaze, long gray hair, and emerging in the new form, Gohan Dark Beast. Vegeta and Goku, shocked by the unexpected evolution, instinctively recoiled from the overwhelming presence of Dark Gohan Beast. The shadow creature had accomplished what it could not do with Broly, unleash a unique and uncontrolled transformation on Gohan. Dark Beast Gohan, now freed from any hint of rationality, roared skyward, emitting an overwhelming energy that shook the battlefield. His eyes glowed with an animalistic intensity, and his posture indicated that human control was suppressed.
This can't be happening. What did that thing do?
The shadow creature managed to unlock something inside Gohan. This won't be easy.
The shadow creature, pleased with the success of its manipulation, watched the scene with satisfaction.
Now, witness my true power. The Saiyan Beast Warrior. How do you plan to stop him?
Dark Beast Gohan let out a deafening roar and lunged towards Vegeta with impressive speed. Dark Beast Gohan's attacks were ferociously savage, his brute strength and speed surpassing even Broly's most rampaging transformation. Vegeta, using his speed and agility, dodged Dark Beast Gohan's first attacks. However, the Saiyan Beast Warrior's ferocity was unpredictable, and Vegeta was forced to deploy all his skill to stay out of range of the devastating attacks. Goku, assessing the situation, transformed into Super Saiyan Blue and rushed to Vegeta's aid. The two Saiyans fought in tactical coordination, looking to open an opportunity to counter Gohan's savage new form. The battle became a whirlwind of energy, with explosions and crashes echoing across the battlefield. The shadow creature in the shadows continued to manipulate and fuel Dark Beast Gohan's fury. The Saiyan strategy was becoming more and more challenging as Dark Beast Gohan seemed to be one step ahead, anticipating their moves.
Damn it! Gohan Beast is too unpredictable.
We must find a way to free Gohan from this transformation. We can't let the shadow control his true power.
As the Saiyans faced Gohan Beast's fury, the shadow creature watched from the shadows and joined the chaos he had unleashed. The situation was becoming more critical with each passing moment, and the Saiyans' endurance was being tested in the face of Beast Gohan's uncontrollable fury. The battle raged on in a titanic struggle between light and darkness, with the hope of freeing Gohan from the influence of the shadow creature hanging in delicate balance. The Saiyans, determined to overcome this challenge, faced an enemy that had managed to unleash an even greater internal threat than before. While the intense battle raged on the battlefield, Piccolo, the Namekian sage, was immersed in his mental training somewhere secluded. His concentration was so deep that he could feel an abrupt shift in ki, a disturbance that reverberated through space and time. A shiver ran down his back, indicating the gravity of the situation.
Something's not right.
The Namekian instantly stood up, his cloak billowing as he focused on the direction of the glowing chaos. The power he felt was not just brute force. It was an amalgam of dark energies that seemed to defy the very essence of reality. Wasting no time, Piccolo prepared to approach this side of the conflict. Back on the battlefield, Goku and Vegeta fought valiantly against Dark Beast Gohan, who moved with uncontrollable ferocity under the influence of the shadow creature. The dark entity, sensing Piccolo's arrival, smirked.
Looks like we have a new guest. This just gets more interesting.
Goku and Vegeta focused on Gohan Beast, noticing Piccolo's presence as he appeared on the battlefield with a serenity that contrasted with the surrounding chaos.
What happened here? What have you done with Gohan? That shadow thing possessed Gohan and transformed it into a wild beast.
We can't free Gohan this way. The shadow creature manipulates his power in unimaginable ways.
Dark Beast Gohan, noticing Piccolo's arrival, turned to him with wild eyes. The shadow creature, enjoying the chaos, prepared for the next act of this heartbreaking play.
Welcome, Piccolo. You're just in time to witness the inevitable downfall of these Saiyans. Don't underestimate the Saiyans or my determination. I'm here to free Gohan.
The Namekian braced himself for the confrontation, deploying his ki with an intensity that made it clear he would not be a mere spectator in this battle. Dark Beast Gohan, fueled by the shadowy influence, roared and lunged towards Piccolo with a speed that defied all logic. The battle became even more chaotic with Piccolo's entrance. His movements were precise and calculated, contrasting with the wild ferocity of Dark Beast Gohan. Goku and Vegeta, aware of Piccolo's strategic skill, adjusted their approach to coordinate their attacks with the Namekian. Meanwhile, the shadow creature watched the battle with a Machiavellian smile, enjoying the confrontation between the forces of light and shadow. The dark entity was determined to prove that its influence was insurmountable. The fight unfolded in a whirlwind of colliding energies, with Piccolo demonstrating his tactical and strategic prowess. Dark Beast Gohan, however, remained a formidable challenge, his erratic movements and uncontrolled strength testing the tenacity of the warriors on the battlefield.
Goku, Vegeta, we need to plan to break the connection between Gohan and that shadow creature.
You're right, Piccolo. We need to attack from different fronts and destabilize that connection.
I'll take care of keeping Beast Gohan busy. Kakarot, you use the connection you have with your son to try to isolate the shadow creature.
Goku and Vegeta, coordinating their efforts with Piccolo's strategic expertise, went on the assault. Piccolo used his wisdom to be able to devise a way to get Dark Beast Gohan out of said possession, while Vegeta unleashed his fury with calculated attacks to keep the beast at bay. As the battle continued, the shadow creature began to feel the pressure of the combined strategy of the Saiyans and Piccolo. The connection between Gohan and the dark entity was under threat, and the shadow creature, despite its confidence, was beginning to show signs of concern. The battle was far from over, but the warriors' resilience was growing stronger in the face of the adversity that loomed over them. As Piccolo continued his mental struggle to free Gohan from the shadow creature's possession, his Namekian senses sharpened. Keen perception led him to identify a small shadow leech clinging to Dark Beast Gohan's lower neck, a detail that had not been evident in Broly's previous possession due to his long hair covering that region.
That's it. The key in this little shadow leech on his neck. We must eliminate it to free Gohan.
Piccolo's revelation attracted the attention of Vegeta and Goku on the physical battlefield. Vegeta, upon hearing this, turned his gaze to the back of Gohan Beast's dark neck and noticed the presence of the Shadow Leech.
A Shadow Leech? That explains why we couldn't free Broly this way.
How do we eliminate it without harming Gohan?
As Piccolo struggled to maintain his mental connection, he analyzed this situation and came up with a strategy.
If we attack the Shadow Leech directly, we might harm Gohan in the process. We need a precise way to eliminate it without endangering his life. So what's the plan, Piccolo? Goku, you've mastered Ultra Instinct, but you can only maintain it for a few seconds.
We need to take advantage of those brief moments to distract Dark Beast Gohan and allow you to get close enough to destroy the Shadow Leech.
Understood, Piccolo. I'll do my best.
But how do we make sure Beast Gohan doesn't attack while Kakarot's approaching? That's the tricky part. We need to keep Gohan busy and distracted. Vegeta, your attacks must be precise and constant, keeping his attention on you.
I will, but Kakarot, don't make me regret this.
The battle resumed with renowned intensity. Vegeta went on the offensive, attacking Gohan Dark Beast with a series of swift and powerful blows. Gohan responded with ferocity, but Vegeta maintained agile, dodging his attacks while keeping the Savage Saiyan warrior's attention. At that moment, Goku concentrated, channeling Ultra Instinct. An aura of flickering energy surrounded him as he activated the powerful transformation. His speed increased exponentially, allowing him to easily dodge Dark Beast Gohan's attacks.
Now, Goku, now's your chance.
Goku in his Ultra Instinct state moved with superhuman speed towards Gohan's rear. The Shadow Creature, still focused on the fierce confrontation with Vegeta, did not notice Goku's approach. This is my chance to end this! With pinpoint accuracy, Goku reached out his hand and touched the small Shadow Leech on Gohan's neck. The leech, upon being touched by the Ultra Instinct energy, began to fade, emitting a dark screech before dissolving completely. Dark Beast Gohan, losing connection with the Shadow Leech, shook violently, as if releasing himself from a trance. Vegeta, noticing the change, cautiously stepped back as Goku returned to his normal state.
What happened?
Kakarot seems to have found a way to free you from that thing.
It was risky, but it worked.
Well done, Goku, but don't let your guard down. This Shadow Creature might have more tricks up its sleeve. The immediate threat had been neutralized. The Shadow Creature, watching from the shadows, moving away unnoticed by the Saiyan warriors, was not about to give up. So the Shadow Creature set out to return to its master.
What will happen next? Find out in the next chapter. Well guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment and subscribe. Now without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time.